the body needs fasting just as it needs nourishment and all other things. So we have an intelligence in our body when we are connected that tells us there's a time to fast and there's a time to feast. And there is no wrong in either. But it is important to include both in our lives. We have lost our connection to that natural response for the most part. Sometimes we feel an ancient calling towards that response, but we tend to override it because we've been indoctrinated to fear fasting, and for many different reasons. But actually it is the most natural and ancient form of healing. You know, we will put ourselves into the hands of doctors and we will go through chemotherapy, radiation, hectic operations. But fasting, that's dangerous. You know, whereas and even losing weight on a fast, ooh, that's dangerous. But losing weight on chemotherapy or radiation or putting it on, why is that different?
By no means am I saying that a beginner who has never dry fasted goes straight away and do 12 days like I did. It's taken me 6 years of practicing daily, weekly, monthly, intermittent dry fasting before my body is clean enough, before my body is able to undergo such a long fast. And it's all to do with cellular hydration, because the more hydrated the body is, the longer it can go in the period of dry fasting. And whilst we're in the process of the dry fast, indeed the body does get very dry, and the body uses dehydration as a tool for cleaning house, for eliminating parasites, for allowing a great deal of detox to take place that would not otherwise be happening. Which is why we say that 1 day of dry fasting is equivalent to 3 days of water fasting, because the body begins to utilize its own internal hydration process. But so long as you approach it on the basis of correct, so long as one educates oneself in how the body works, in understanding the mucus-free principles, it's really essential that you prepare for a dry fast, by really emptying the colon. There are lots of different processes one must undergo to make sure that the dry fast is safe. And really the most important aspect of this is beginning slowly. You would never run a 100-mile ultra marathon if you've not even run a kilometer down to the local shops. So you begin gently, you begin to run a kilometer, then you run 2, then you run a mile, then you run 5, and then eventually you can run a marathon. Maybe once you've done 10 marathons, you run an ultra marathon. It's about really slowly easing into it. And this requires a complete surrender of the ego, because the ego wants results now. It wants to be healed yesterday. It wants to look younger. It wants to get rid of wrinkles. I'm going to dry fast 10 days. And that's not how it works. It's about really humbling ourselves and returning back to nature. And nature always does things very subtly, very gently, very effortlessly. It's not about pushing and forcing. It's about surrendering, allowing and really softening into this process rather than pushing, with the mind.